Hey everyone, my name's Amanda Joy and I own Happy Henna. I have been doing the art of henna since 2010. I first learned about henna when I was working with refugees, resettling them in Grand Rapids. I saw it for the first time and I was had that emotional butterfly feeling of this is so beautiful, and I knew that I wanted to try it or get a hold of it. And so when I did, I brought it home, and literally for an hour straight, I did not lift my head. Um, it was so meditational for me. Everything else around me disappeared, and I was just enamored with the art of it on my skin, and I felt so much peace, and my breathing slowed down, and that's when I fell in love with it. So henna is actually a 5,000-year-old art form that goes all the way back to Egypt, Northern Africa, and parts of India. It is made out of a plant called Lawsonia. It's a flowering plant. It grows about 8 feet tall, and it's the leaf of the plant that actually leaves behind the stain. So if you were to find this beautiful plant out in a field and go and pick the leaf and crush it between your fingers, it kind of leaves behind that stain, almost like a berry or a bee would leave behind this natural pigment. When you mix it with just water, it kind of creates like this mud form to it, and that's how I make the paste. Now with my paste, I mix it with water, sugar, essential oil, and that's about it. A lot of times I'll use lemon juice to help it last longer, but that's not necessary to have. After I let the paste sit a while, I will cone it in icing cones, and then I will put it in my smaller cones that are wrapped in cellophane. I will put those right in the freezer. I want them to last as long as possible. They are plants, so they do have a stain life to it. If I leave it out into the freezer, it lasts about a week. So I want to make sure to use them right away. To have longer lasting henna, you'll want to make sure that your pores are open and clean, so not having any oils or lotions on the skin would be best. And the best places to have the henna is on your palms of your hands, the back of your hands, the bottom of your feet, because those are areas of the skin that are more porous and are able to have the henna soak into the skin more. I like to use henna as a form of art therapy. Personally, for me, it has been a lifesaver for me. I deal with anxiety, so to be able to have this art with me anywhere I go, I can just keep it in my pocket, and when I don't feel safe or don't feel well, I'm able to take this paste out and just start doing art on myself, and it brings me back to my center, and it reminds me to connect with myself again, to just breathe and stay calm, and everything else around me kind of fades and disappears. And when I would do it on other people, I noticed that I could create the same atmosphere with another person, where we'd sit down and I hold your hand, and most of the time people don't get touch, so there is touch therapy that goes with it, and you can feel that exchange of energy after even a few minutes of holding a person, and your breath slows down. All of a sudden you're synchronizing in breath, and you're very calm. And with the henna paste itself, I put lavender essential oil in it, so you can smell the lavender, and you're just connecting with you and that person, and everything else just fades away. And that's when I ask Source to let me be a vessel to speak to this person, if there's words or if there's images, or just to be still, just to listen. That's where my gifts, my art comes really into play, of my desire of why I do what I do, because I can always be better at henna. The art is beautiful, but I can always grow in that. I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it, but it's really the intention of why I choose to do this art, this purpose. We all have this one life to live, and you you get to choose how you want to live it. You never know when you have the next day, if you even have that next day. I believe healing starts with the mind and everything in life, to choose fear or to choose love. On the radio, I heard about this salon in Comstock Park called Beautiful You, where they give free services once a month to cancer patients, and like nails, hair, you name it. And so I went there and I asked them if I could set up one day and just do henna on ladies. I would connect with them on a deeper level and ask them questions like, where do you find peace? What is that image in your head? Are there words? Are there phrases? Are there Bible verses that you would like on your arm? So every time you look down on it for the next 2 weeks, it will remind you to speak love over your body. And that's where I started using this as a blessing. Every person that would come to me, I would connect with, and I would say, this is meant to bring out that inner light, that inner beauty onto your skin. And you are a goddess, you are beautiful, you are a princess of this universe, whatever you think you can create. So when you're speaking love over your body, that's where healing begins. And so many times as women, we tend to curse our body, and we tend to speak negative things of our body, especially when we're sick, and makes our body feel weaker and worse. And so my goal is to help transform that mind, transform that thinking into loving your body, loving yourself, and speaking, healing over this temple that is carrying our soul. The next couple of weeks, you're able to look back down and say, oh yes, this is what I should be thinking over myself, of who I am. Remind yourself like, oh yeah, I do love myself. This is my identity. Donating my time at Beautiful You is what inspired me to want to be an art prize.
The way that it's impacting women's psychology as they go into treatment is rather profound. To help motivate these women and make them feel more confident and make them feel more powerful as they enter into this next chapter of their lives.
It was positive instead of negative, and it was love instead of fear. And I think that that's so necessary for these women, something they can take with them and remind others and themselves. Their identity is not cancer. Their identity is not the diagnosis. Their identity is this beauty that's inside of them. I've seen a new courage in them, this new boldness, bold enough not to wear their wigs and not to wear any scarves, but to show the crown of their heads, saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm battling, and I'm not afraid to show that, and I'm not afraid of this diagnosis, I'm not afraid of this cancer, because I'm bigger than it, and I'm gonna beat it. Their story is not meant to be hidden. They're not supposed to fight alone behind closed doors. And that's what Crowns of Courage is really about.
Crowns of Courage was just the beginning of what I want to do with my nonprofit moving forward, Healing Henna. But with Happy Henna, it really represents my mission. My mission statement is to bring happiness and healing through the art of henna. And that's really my goal. I want to use this art more for spiritual therapy, touch therapy, aromatherapy, and emotional healing. So I have taught girls how to use henna to love on themselves instead of cutting themselves or using their emotions in a negative form, and try and use it for more positive. I really appreciate all of you, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment, and I would love to get back to you. Any of you ladies, I would love to get together and give you your own henna tattoo. That would be great.